Zelle's app won't work for users as it tells them to use banks or credit unions to access the company's services from here on. The app says users can still log in until August 11th, but they will not be able to send or receive money on it. The Zelle app was first launched in 2017 and had a peak of 143 million users.
Also breaking right now, fallout from President Donald Trump's tariff announcement. As you can see, stocks plummeted today. The Dow lost almost 1,680 points, the Nasdaq more than 1,000, and the S&P almost 275. This is one of the big headlines today. So our Joe Donlan joins us now with more to talk about the impact that the tariffs are already having.
Well, you're seeing it right there, at least on the stock market anyway. But the president's 10% across the board tariffs will start there. Those are set to begin on Saturday, and then added reciprocal tariffs start next week, and the administration's 25% tariff on all foreign vehicles and auto parts, that kicked in at midnight. Markets tumbled Thursday as nervous investors reacted to President Trump's sweeping new tariffs.
The markets are going to boom, the stock is going to boom, the country is going to boom.
Trump previously acknowledged there may be some temporary pain as a result of new tariffs, but says they're necessary to bring manufacturing back to the U.S.
We're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country, and you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
Canada, one of America's largest trading partners, says it's retaliating against the auto tariffs.
By matching the U.S. approach with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement.
And car maker Stellantis says as it continues to assess the tariff impact, the company will lay off roughly 900 U.S. employees, at least temporarily, and is pausing production at facilities in Mexico and Canada. We spoke with Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth about these tariffs. She's concerned about the effect on farmers, among other things, and she pointed out that Illinois is the third largest state for agricultural exports.
I think the tariffs should be targeted, right? You just don't do something blanket across the board. And Trump's latest tariffs are really going to be devastating for small businesses and the ag sector. Our farmers are just getting body blow after body blow from this administration.
So the senator says the tariffs, in her opinion, are going to make products grown here in Illinois more expensive and also make supplies the farmers need more expensive to buy. So if this is indeed short-term pain that the president has talked about, betting on something better down the road, the stock market, you would think, isn't seeing it that way, at least not right now, because if they were betting on this success in the future, you'd think they would have been a little more bullish today and not what we saw happen on Wall Street. But others think this could be a sort of a negotiating ploy from the president.
Okay, like it might not last too long.
An opening hand in poker, maybe to get these folks to the table. That's yet to be seen, but it sounds like the president is standing pat. We know he watches the stock market closely and sees it as a barometer of his success. You have to wonder what he's thinking today, although he still thinks this is going to be a boom down the road.
Shalom. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone to rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth and all truth, sincerity, and diligence. Shalom. All right, and as you can see on this clip, you know, that was played is that, you know, it's two clips. So, but the first one I'm gonna address is, see the Zelle app, right? Basically showing you that, hey, the Zelle app was around since 2017, all right? And then here we are in 2025 to where now, hey, look, it's not going to be no more, you know, come August. All right, now why is that? Upon the brink of an economical collapse, you know, the ending of the dollar, right, which made the world go round, all right, to usher in what? The CBDCs, man, a digital currency. All right, let's not forget about, I think that was in 2023, where they brought forth, they launched that Fed Now program, which filters, right? And let me look this up right quick. All right, let me go do a little research here. Let's see what the Fed Now. Let's see, purpose. Oh, no, I'm going to use ChatGPT. Why? Let's see. What is is the purpose of Fed Now? Okay, so it says the purpose of Fed Now is to provide real-time payment system in the United States that allow individuals and business to send, receive payments instantly, 24/7, 365, right? Launched by Federal Reserve, Fed Now aims to modernize U.S. payments infrastructure by offering faster, more efficient alternative and traditional payment systems, which typically take longer time to process transactions. Now, it sounds like it's, oh yeah, that seemed, good to me. But it's all linked to what? The CBDCs, and it's faster. Why? Because that's what they want to put in your hand, right? That you can buy or sell. It says enabling near instant transfers between financial institutions, helping reduce the delays, providing faster payments to a wider range of individuals, including those who are unbanked or underbanked or unbanked, by making the system more accessible. Reducing the need for intermediary. I'm reading this. This is the first time I looked this up. Reducing the need for intermediaries, potentially lowering transaction costs and increasing overall financial efficiency. All right, offering a secure, modern system that can handle high volumes of transactions without compromising safety. Okay, so which they're gonna use, for CBDCs. So I'm gonna type in Fed Now and CBDCs. How about that? What they say? Fed Now and CBDCs are related but distinct concepts. Fed Now is a real-time payment system. All right, we just read that. On the other hand, CBDCs refers to a digital form of a country's currency issued and regulated by the central banks. Okay, and that's why they're crashing out all these little brother banks. If the U.S. were to implement a CBDC, which did not Donald Trump just sign an executive order? Right, matter of fact, let me look that up. Let me finish reading this. If the U.S. were to implement a CBDC, it would be a digital dollar, fully backed by the Federal Reserve, representing a liability of a central bank. Okay, FedNow is a payment system that facilitates real-time banking to bank transfers but does not involve digital currency. What the fuck do you think that the currency gonna be, right? We ain't sending paper dollars through goddamn airwaves, brother. It's gonna be digital currency. So, you gotta filter through that. You see, payment systems, infrastructure, faster. How it's gonna get faster if it's not digital? Come on, man. Let me see. It says, as of now, Federal Reserve has not launched a U.S. CBDC, but has been researching its potential, and they will. Okay, but why now is this money app that you use to send and receive money? Why now is it and why now is it shutting down? So you can expect that from Facebook Pay, PayPal, Cash App, right? You can expect all of that, right? Because everything is going to filter, because that's what they launched the Fed Now program for, all right? For this very reason, because they will launch a CBDC, man, all right? But first they have to crash this economy, all right? And on the second clip. The second clip here, is going into how these tariffs, right? These tariffs, has, and sorry if I'm long-winded, but these tariffs have, created chaos, man, which will, worsen, because I was just watching the brother Tazapanya. He was going in a little clip about Ronald Reagan, how these tariffs are going to cause, when tariffs was implemented back in the time of the Great Depression, how these tariffs will cause, a mass scale of, unemployment, man, and an economical collapse, man. And we can see that happening, man. All right. But, this is the end. This is what we prophesy about, man. Okay. So, Let me grab this. This is Zephaniah. This is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 10. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, said Yahweh, that there shall be a noise of a cry." All right, a noise of a cry. Understand, when you wake up on a Friday, a Friday or whatever day it is, and you can't go withdraw money from your bank, man, because the economy has collapsed, man. All right, and these tariffs, it causes the prices of everything to rise, right? Donald Trump said, "What it's gonna be? It's gonna be a sting, but it's for the betterment of our country." All right, but like the brother Taza Panya brought out about that little segment about Ronald Reagan, anytime tariffs when tariffs was used, like it wasn't good for the economy, man. All right, because people are gonna stop buying, right? Economy is going to crash. Unemployment is gonna skyrocket, man. This is going to usher in the collapse, of the dollar, man. Okay, the prices of everything rising, hyperinflation, man. Shit, gallons of milk, damn, $22. How you think you're going to survive, man, without the Spirit of the Lord? That's why the scripture said, "My servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry." So that's why it shall be a noise of a cry, man, right? It ain't going to be no protection out here for unbelievers. It ain't going to be no protection out here for, you scoffers, man, all right? So a noise of a cry. And from the fish gate, right? From the fish gate where they did business and commerce. See, the fish gate is going into the economical life of a society, right? So from the fish gate and the howling from the second and the great crashing from the hills, man, right? A howling for the second. And, in the ancient time, the second was right next to the first, right next to the fish gate, right? So it shall be a noise of the cry from the fish gate where they did business and commerce, basically going into the economical life of a society, and a howling from the second and a great crashing from the hill. So economy is about to crash, man, right? Like I say, speaking as a man, I don't see us getting out of 2025 without the economy crashing. If it don't, oh well, what you gonna do? Quit? You see? What you gonna do? Give up on the Lord? I can't wait no more? I mean, you was never of the elect. You was only here for a season. It says, "How ye inhabitants of Mektesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." So the Mektesh, right? Mektesh is like, a merchant city, man. Now today, you got, Wall Street. Okay, and what you do, you can just get on your phone and you can just look, you can, see what's being traded, what's going on. And right now, as you can see from this clip, man, it's down. The Dow is down 1,600 points, man, because of these tariffs, right? If you can't see what's about to happen, then you don't need glasses, you just need to be unalived. If you still holding on to this society, thinking that it's going to shake back, then it just wasn't for you, man. Okay? So the dollar is going to crash because it's going to be hyperinflation. And you Israelites are going to get it the worst, man. You Israelites, you ones that trusted in society, that's going to lean on to Egypt for help, man. Hey, you're going to get it the worst. All right? For all you people that's, because you got the masses of our people, man, 2/3 of our nation is still asleep, man. Some of them going to see it, but then, they still going to be trying to hold on. Maybe they going to shake back, man, because hope is a motherfucker, Hope whenever it's not, according to righteousness, right? That, like, because you could be hoping in some, a matter of fact, that's a scripture. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. Which brings me to, you can go to Lamentations, right? Lamentations 5 or 4. Let me see. This is Lamentations 5:17. "For our heart is faint." No, that is not it. All right. So maybe it is 4:17. This is Lamentations 4:17. "As for us, our eyes yet fell for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us, right? In the NLT, it says, we looked in vain for our allies to come and save us, but we were looking to nations that could not help us. So 2/3 of our nation are going to look to the government for help, man. You know, they will, because in their mind, America has really, pampered our people, man. And just, for instance, you was able to have jobs. You was able to, create some type of, wealth for yourself. You get paid every week, or however you get paid. Have a little savings. These women with food stamps, man. These women with housing. These women with, all these things that in this place where you were nourished at, right? You've become pampered, and you've leaned on the government. You've leaned on America. Let's say you're not trusting in the government. Let's say you just lean on this system to always, to stand. But hey, the scripture says, right? And I want to say Isaiah 36. It says Isaiah 36:6, it says, lo, thou hast trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, wherein if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him, right? So you benefit nowhere near. You don't benefit at all with leaning on this devil's system. You see it's crashing. You see it's falling. All right? You see? Oh, look, it says, let me read it in NLT. On Egypt, if you lean on Egypt, it will be like a reed that splinters beneath your weight and pierces your hand. Right? And brothers bring that out to show you, it's going to be a RFID, chip that they gonna want to put in your hand, man. All right. You go into that word, it's a palisade. I believe it says like a reed that splinters beneath your weight, piercing your skin. So you can try to put all your weight, all your needs on Esau, Edom, America which is spiritually called Egypt, right? And it's gonna pierce your hand, man, right? And Pharaoh, right? Look what it says, Pharaoh. And Esau, Edom is the modern day Pharaoh, okay? The king of Egypt is completely unreliable, all right? Unreliable. You can see right now, like, okay, so why the hell is this Zelle app, it's going to be done away with? Why is that? Right? Because everything is going to filter through FedNow, which, that's was the reason why they launched it in the first place. Because, and like I said, I'm gonna go look this up. I'm at work right now, so salaki for whatever's going on in the background. Okay. Let's see if I can find that. Give me a scripture. Give me a second. All right. That was March 6th, March 25. It says President Donald Trump modernizes payments to and from. Nah, that's not what I'm looking at. That's not what I'm looking at. Looking for. Hold on. Give me a second. All right, so there it is. It says Donald Trump, signed an executive order for federal government electronic payments. Right, so it's not going to be basically no more paper checks being, issued out by the federal government, which is all part of the agenda, right, to bring the society into a digital currency, all right, because all in the name of Doge, you see, all right. So we understand what's going on, so that's why it's going to be a cry from the fish gate, man, all right, and it's going to chiefly, bring you into subjection to taking that MOTB, man, which is the radio frequency identification chip. All right. So yeah, like in touching on this video, right, with this with the Dow, right? Hey, man, people understand that the stock market, bro, the economy is going to crash, man. And everybody who, a lot of people that got their money tied up in the stocks, man, man, that is life consuming, watching for riches. This is Ecclesiasticus 31:1. It says, watching for riches consumeth the flesh, and the cares thereof droppeth away sleep. When Doge drop like that, when the Dow drop like that, right, 1,600 points, that shook some people up, man, because of tariffs. And like Donald Trump said, it's going to be a sting, but it's for the betterment of the country. But so it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. And so when people can't afford to live and they can't afford to, do the things that they was doing, they're going to, start selling themselves. You can even go to the book of Nehemiah whenever the times was hard. When times became hard, people start giving up, things that were precious unto them. Watch this. This is Nehemiah chapter 5, verse I'm going to start at 1. About this time, some of the men and their wives raised a cry and protest against the fellow Jews because you had Israelites oppressing Israelites. They were saying, we have such large families, we need more food to survive. All right, this is an example of being in hard times, what we're coming into right now. All right. Others said, we have mortgaged our fields, vineyards, and homes to get food during the famine. So basically, they gave up things that were precious unto them just to eat. Okay. And others said, we had to borrow money on our fields and vineyards to pay our taxes. So you got people that's still going to be trying to hold on to the things that they have, even in the midst of this chaos, right? But it's going to get too hard. That's why the scripture says, be as one who buy it. I'm gonna just get it because I don't remember it completely. It says, and another said, it's in verse 5, it says, we belong to the same family as those who are wealthy, and our children are just like theirs. Yet we must sell our children into slavery just to get enough money to live. This is in the NLT too. We have already sold some of our daughters, and we are helpless to do anything about it, for our fields and our vineyards are already mortgaged to others, so meaning that they didn't have nothing. They went to like how these women do. They're going to start selling, like how they do already. They're going to try to, they be selling their bodies and, what's supposed to be pure, they selling it, to survive. But when that time come around, ain't nobody going to be buying, ain't nobody going to be buying. We're buying, not selling. That's an inside joke. But ain't nobody going to be trying to pay for no box, man. You know what I mean? They just going to take that in those times, man. So, it ain't going to be nothing you can do. If you ain't got Yahweh Bashim Yahushua with you, then that's a wrap. Canada say all relations between United States is over. And also China hit the U.S. with 34% tariffs. So things is about to get real, real bad out here. All right, whether you want to believe it or not, all right, and that's what's going to be that chaos, and then that's what's going to lead into Revelations 13 and 16. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a charagma. Okay, this is the truth. This is, prophecy, right? If you can't see that, like, hyperinflation is, I'm talking about right there, then you're going to be caught like a thief in the night, man. So that's basically all I had on that, man. I'm on these people's jobs. So, man, Lord willing, you will edify. Shalom.